Hello, here to speak to you this evening about a couple of things. Those are alcoholism, um, alcohol abuse, and I also want to talk to you about my personal experiences with being inebriated and being intoxicated. Um, a lot of people ask me, Jesse, why did you stop drinking? Those are the people that have never experienced me while I was under the influence of an alcoholic beverage. The people that question why I quit don't understand. They can never understand. To those people I say, I had a problem. They want me to elaborate, but the people that were there and who saw me go through my trials and tribulations, who saw me, those people are Michael Cox, Michael Vernon, Nicholas Vick, Julio Fontanez. All of these people saw me battle with alcohol. My older sister even saw this. She saw that I was fighting a demon in my life. There was always that monkey on my back. Now, when I started drinking at the age of 14, I did it because the people nearest me were impressionable upon me, and I thought that it would be cool. I could be part of the crowd, I could drink, and I could have fun, and I could go to parties and have a fun time drinking alcoholic beverages. Now there are folks who are of age and who can drink responsibly, who can drink in moderation, and there are some people who are underage and go overboard, and they go on drinking binges. I've never had a legal alcoholic beverage because I've never drank while being 21 or while being over the age of 21, and I've never been able to have the self-control to practice what folks refer to as moderation. To me, any amount of alcohol is too much. I believe that consuming one drop or 100 gallons of the stuff is all the same to me. Neither of it's practical, not in my life, not in anybody's life, I don't believe, but those are my opinions, I'm entitled to them, and I appreciate all the people that supported me while I was attempting to quit. And when I was successful in quitting, I appreciate all the people who gave me support. I really found out who my friends were. See, there's a lot of people who are around you when you're partying and when you're having fun and when you're drinking. There's a lot of people that surround you, and they claim that they'll be there for you through thick and thin. But when you quit drinking and you stop going to parties, they stop talking to you and they stop hanging out with you. So let's get down to brass tacks. When did I realize that I had a problem with alcohol? I was on the phone with Michael Cox, and we were talking about some personal things. And I asked him if he thought that I drank too much. And he was silent for a little while. And then he replied, "Yes, I think you drink too much." And then I was silent for a little while. I had to let it sink in, roll around in my mind plate a little bit. One of my best friends just told me that he thinks that I drink too much. So, third-party perspective, right there. Removed all doubt in my mind. See, when I used to party and when I used to get drunk, I would think, I don't have a problem. You have a problem for telling me that I have a problem. I would ignore the people that were trying to help me. I would ignore the people that actually cared about me. And I would ignore all the people who told me that I had a problem. I would just blow them off. Like, what? You think I have a problem? Get a job, you know? But I did not have the third party perspective. I wasn't watching myself. I was getting blackout drunk. I was getting so drunk that I didn't know where I was, who I was with, what I was doing, where I was. You know, when you get that drunk, it's scary and it's dangerous. You could seriously get hurt. I used to leave the homestead for weeks at a time and not speak to people except for my people that were nearest surrounding me. You know, I used to make my mom worry about me, and she would stay up late at night. I feel like shit because she would stay up late at night worrying about me, thinking that I was dead in a ditch somewhere. You know, I used to call her shit-faced drunk and just tell her that I was out in the woods drinking with my friends and to not worry about me. And then she would be crying and telling me to stop doing that because she was scared for me and she was worried about me. And I was so selfish and I didn't care. I just told her I don't care. I want to be with my friends and I want to have fun and I want to drink. And she would be worried about me and telling me to come home. And I didn't want to hear that because I was a belligerent, drunken asshole. So I would just hang up the phone. I wrote my mother a letter once and asked her for forgiveness. This is validated and verified. There were times when she wouldn't be able to sleep and she would just get in her car and drive around Ruskin late at night looking for me. Or going to my friends' houses and asking them if they knew where I was. I feel terrible. I can never take back what I put her through. All I can tell her is that I'm sorry about that. I was stupid, I was young, I was an idiot, and I was foolish. And she forgave me because she loves me, and that's what a good mother does. I never want, if I ever have children, I never want them to make the mistake that I made. They'll probably see this video someday and hear about my life stories, and I'm not proud of any of that. I'm not proud that I used to make my mom cry. I'm not proud that I used to make my mom worry about me. You know, today my mom doesn't worry about me because she knows that when I leave home, I have zero intentions about drinking any alcoholic beverages. I'm as sober as a bird. And when I say I will not consume not one drop of alcohol, I'm serious as a heart attack. I leave home, I do not drink anything except for water or Pepsi, and then I come back home the same way as when I left, sober, and in my six senses. I mean, you know, six. The sixth one is my sense of humor. See, this is a serious video, it's not a funny video. That's how I learned that I had a problem talking to Mike, and I know that I've got an issue. What am I going to do about it? How am I going to possibly stop drinking when I'm surrounded by alcohol, fake friends, parties, and temptation? What could I possibly do? How can I quit? Well, the answer is I couldn't. I couldn't stop drinking. I had people around me known as enablers, and they were enabling my ability to consume alcohol. They were making it possible for me to, not only that, large quantities of alcohol. Like I said, I used to get blackout drunk. There were times where I was almost arrested. There were many run-ins with the police. There was times when people wanted to kick my ass. I almost got jumped one time by like 20 people because they thought I was someone else. You know, there's been times when I've been chased. Nick Vick and Mike Cox, they can affirm all of those statements. They can validate all of those statements. That stuff happened. And you see where the risks outweigh the rewards because there was no reward for drinking. There was nothing but risks. I'm not gonna lie, when I first was drinking, I used to have a lot of fun. But I learned that after a while, it wasn't fun. I was drinking because I was depressed, and I was depressed because I was drinking, and it was a vicious circle, a vicious cycle that kept going and going and going with no end. I thought, when will it end? I felt so old. I would wake up, and my first thought was, how am I going to drink? Where's their beer? Where's their alcohol? Where's their liquor? You know, that's problematic. I knew I had a problem when I would call my friends up and be like, hey, where's the party at? When my friends would call me and say they wanted to hang out with me, and the first thing I would say is there going to be beer? Are we going to have a party? So yeah, that's not a lie. For a while, Jesse Tampa, that name was synonymous with partying. You could just talk to anybody. You could talk to Alan Lewis, Josh Bridges, Brad Beasley. They all saw this occur in me. They saw that I went from a nice person who could contain myself and control myself. I turned into a pretty evil and wretched person, a monster that was not able to be controlled. I was just unleashed upon this earth and would seek and consume and devour and void of all feelings. Just a empty hole, an empty black hole that you could throw beer into, and you could throw liquor into, and you could throw all kinds of alcohol into it, and it would affect it only in one way, and the one way only would be to numb it, and numb it, and numb it. And I would forget about this earth, I would leave reality, and I would enter the world of fantasy, where none of my problems existed. But the problem was, when I got all fucked up and shit-faced and inebriated and intoxicated, my problems were still there. I was just oblivious to them. And then when I sobered up, all of life would just fall on top of me. And that would really fuck with me, so I would want to drink some more to forget about those problems. So it was established that I had an issue, I had a problem. Then came the solution. How do we fix it? How do we solve it? When I was 14, when I was 15, when I was 16, when I was 17, when I was 18, when I was 19. 6 solid years of social drinking, party drinking, drinking alone, drinking with people, drinking beer, drinking liquor, whiskey, vodka, tequila, gin. You know, you name it, I drank it. That's a long time. That's a long time to allow one vice grip to get a hold upon your entire life and to steer the directions that you go in. You don't control the drink controls you, and you become a slave to that very object that you desire. I desired the beer, so I became a slave to beer. I desired that liquor, so I became a slave to that liquor. All of my money, all of my friends, all of my resources, everything that I owned or cared about or had, I aimed it towards achieving one goal, and the only goal I had at the time was getting shit-faced, getting plastered, getting fucked up, partying. Like I said, I was a selfish, immature asshole. And there were many consequences for my actions. Many times where I had to own up and take responsibility. It was like every time I got in trouble, there was a huge shit sandwich and everybody had to take a bite, but my bite was the biggest. And I realized that that was not the way that I wanted to live.